heroes that the teams have to play. So let's take a look at what the community has decided for Team Secret and put that on the screen. The voting was all over the place. The fans wanted to see all sorts of different heroes across the roster, which is why those numbers are so small. But Rome, it's interesting, of course, there's the signature European roamer Finn, the hypercarry Vox, but then Arden here too. Is that going to be a weapon Arden?
Yeah, most likely this will be a weapon Arden playing out of that jungle. And I feel like as long as they play it properly, Vox will never die. As long as he's positioned himself in that back end, he can just keep kiting and kiting. And this is something that's going to be very fun to watch.
Yeah, and we'll have to see who they put on that Vox. Redemption, historically a hypercarry himself, but Kvalifar, one of the best laners in the world. Now for TSM, let's see who the fans have voted in for them. It's an alpha. All right, that's going to be fun. Rome, Cole the Meek, arguably the best glaive in the entire world, but probably the better alpha on the roster too.
Yeah, but you know the funny thing here is that we have seen every single player on this roster play a glaive, either from carry glaive up to that roam glaive, and I do feel like we will be seeing Flash X.
Oh, it's your call. So this is the first hashtag Rome is the warm-up. These teams can kind of feel each other out before we get into the main event with the community rewards on the line. And to call all the matches today, it is the incomparable Action Jackson and Forecourt Jester.
Wait to get these games underway, guys. I've been wanting to see which of these regions is going to come out on top for quite some time. It's the first time we're going to get to see the champions from each region play against one another. So personally, I'm here rooting for EU. People might not know this, but I'm an English citizen, so although I sound American, yeah.
Where's your accent? Accent or busman?
I do not do English accents. It doesn't work. But in any case, very excited to get this game underway. We've got some interesting compositions that you guys back at home have voted in.
Yep.
And let's just hop onto the fold and get this one started.
All right, so we're going to be doing exactly that. And the big thing for me is going to be alpha. So will TSM be able to craft this comp and create that pocket of pressure that they need in order to make an effective alpha? Or are we going to be relying a lot on the Vox here from Team Secret?
All right, well, let's take a look at who's playing what. Flash X is indeed playing the glaive, so Rome was correct on his first prediction of the day, setting it off to a good start. But we've also got Cole the Meek playing, of course, that Arden. It looks like it'll probably be the weapon Arden. And then on the flip side, we've got the Vox going up to the lane. We've also got that weapon Arden as well.
Well, all right, so Cole the Meek in that lane with that Arden. I mean, yeah, all right, weapon Ardens, who knows how many we're going to see. But by the end of it all, I mean, Redemption, Kvalifar, and Majestic. That's going to be the big test for these guys. Now, sure, all right, let's go for that fight.
Yeah, it looks like Kvalifar wants to start things off very quickly here. Flash X extremely low, but the rotate down from Cole the Meek is extremely quick. We've got Redemption coming in. He wants to go for the fight. Majestic finds first blood on the back end. Now Mixi quite low. They're trying to hunt Redemption. He is falling very fast, but with that Vanguard, he is going to have to reboot. Mixi in a bad position goes down again. Team Secret off to an incredible start in the show match.
Well, they got the 2-1. They might actually get the 3-1 here, but Cole gets down to that shot, has the boots, so it looks like he's just going to be fine. And, early game, I'm not too fussed about this one because Mixi, on that alpha, you have a weak early game. That's just, unfortunately, part of that kit. It's about survival right now, and if they can bounce back to that one or at least not hemorrhage any more bad situations that Team Secret can capitalize on, that mid-game to late game is going to be very strong for him.
Oh, I've got to agree with you, but let's have a look at the items that are coming across, because it looks like Mixi has picked up a weapon blade. Might be going for that weapon alpha. Hang on a second. Redemption up in the lane, taking a lot of damage here. Cole the Meek doing some pretty good work on this weapon Arden in terms of the damage so far.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is a lot to be said about Arden and his capabilities in combat. He's not just that Vanguard or that Gauntlet bot. His blood for blood has really shown again and again in almost every league that I've ever seen him in, he can put out that damage, especially when you put him into a carry role.
I've got to agree with you. And actually, something people might not know, recently Team Secret actually picked intentionally a weapon Arden in the spring qualifiers for the VGL. So the fact that they're running this here could be good for them as well. Majestic is going to jump in. Look at that. Polite Company keeping TSM in range for a bit more damage coming out of Redemption. TSM wanted to make a play happen there, but they just weren't able to.
Well, Mixi did go in, and again, like early game, it's not exactly that biggest punch right there. So I think just taking it a little bit more easy here. I know there's nothing really on the line, but they still want to win.
Oh, absolutely. This is what sets the tone for the rest of the day. It's your chance to crush the morale of your opponents, and I'm sure both of these guys are taking it very seriously. Right now, Cole the Meek and Flash X having to set up towards this lane and try and defend the push, the onslaught coming in from Redemption and Kvalifar. can see they're doing a good job of shoving that wave up and just keeping the pressure on.
Yeah, if they keep the pressure on TSM, then they're going to know where TSM is. Even if Mikshi's off in the jungle, a 2v1 will go in the favor of Team Secret because, again, it's a little bit early. He's going to be by himself, and once you get into that reboot sequence here, well, you're a sitting duck. Now, that actually could be a situation here, but they didn't seem to go in. 3v1 could have been easy money.
It absolutely could have, but Mikshi's going to be able to walk out of there unscathed for the time being, moving back towards the lane to back up Flash X and Cole the Meek. You can see every single member from both teams, in fact, sitting in their respective side bush. That's going to be the face check. Flash X wants to pick up the kill onto Redemption, but the damage on the way back is way too much. That's going to be the third kill picked up for Team Secret. They're off to an extremely good start in this game.
Now, Mikshi and Flash and, Cole, the entire team, 3 melee, right? They got to go for a dive comp. This early on, though, it's just not working.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. They need to find windows of opportunity to dive onto the back line, but if you're just a little bit too weak, as you are inherently as an alpha, for example, in the early game, you're not going to get those opportunities. Now you can see Team Secret starting to move up. They're starting to threaten some of the back camps, perhaps, of TSM, and they're leveraging the lead that they've built for themselves. That said, Gold dead even right now. It's purely a lead constructed of map pressure that Team Secret have.
Now, map pressure, a little bit momentum. Mikshi into this lane. He's going to get a little bit of farm. And again, we're not going to see a wild gold swing. There's nobody going for this gold mine yet. 4 minutes in, of course, it's not really stacked up that well. They do have an invade going in here. Majestic and Valafar, they are actually thinking of the minion mine. They don't actually know that Flash is right there, and he's just going to, pass some ships in the night.
Flash X, although they didn't know he was there, I think he had some inkling that they were going for that invade, so he decides to back off towards the lane. I think this is smart. You don't really want to contest the extremely strong Team Secret right now. And in addition to that, for Team Secret's part, I think picking up the minion miner early here does make a lot of sense. It's going to give you more of that pressure that allows for you to maybe rotate Redemption down, fight over the gold mine, start going for those back camps. Right now, Team Secret are in a great position, but they've got to hold on to it.
All right, so Cole the Meek, he's back into this lane. Okay, Vanguard on Flash is actually going to put some pressure on Redemption, but he's going to be fine with it. Now with that swap, Mikshi's going to go back into the jungle, and, the double weapon Ardens going back and forth. Cole the Meek into this lane. A lot of weapon blades on the fold right now. It's only Redemption with that crystal, kind of expected at this point, but I'm really curious to see what the first items will be and when we're going to get that, because 6 to 7 minutes, we can typically see a Tier 3 completed.
This is something you've got to keep your eye on as well, because if we see both Mikshi and Cole going for the weapon power build, the red builds, then itemization for the side of Team Secret becomes a lot more simple. Buy armor. You don't need to worry so much about the
Redemption
shield.
already has that light armor.
Indeed, so he's going to be taking very little damage compared to maybe if the mixed damage sources were coming out from Team Solo Mid, and that could be a big factor in some of these later fights.
All right, Majestic finds Mikshi and TSM.
Well, they might try and go for something here, but I think Majestic needs to be careful about going too deep for the time being. That's more what TSM want to be doing. Prime Directive, though, is going to be landing onto Redemption, putting Mikshi in a little bit of a risk himself. He needs to back off, Redemption rotating down as well, just making sure he's covered and not going to get jumped on too early here. As you can see, Finn's starting to pick up some items.
Yeah, we do got that fountain actually ready to go just a little bit before Flash, but he has 1,500 in the inventory, so it's basically just on the cusp. But nobody in that lane. They are going to come down and do a 3-man rotation into that into the shop, and well, they will find Majestic. Cole, he feels like he can make that happen.
Majestic, I mean, he takes a bit of damage there, but with the Vanguard and the inherent tankiness of something like that Arden, he's able to deal with it pretty well. Plus, TSM, if they all dive in using their gap closers, if the Afterburn comes out, if the Blood for Blood comes out, that could be problematic if maybe some members of Team Secret were sitting in the side bush of the lane. So it's a bit risky going for that kind of an aggressive play, and I can respect that they just wanted to get a bit of a love tap down onto Majestic and back away.
All right, Kavalavar did just hit 5. Flash a little bit ahead of that. So when it comes to those ultimates, the supports are about to pick up those extra buttons for these fights. I would really expect to start seeing some pressure sometime in the next 60, maybe 90 seconds or so when we do complete those items, when we do have a little bit more in the inventory and those extra buttons.
Goldmine being started off by TSM here, you'd think that Team Secret, with the amount of pressure they've had so far, would want to pick this one up, but they're not going to be able to. Mikshi hunts that one down. Kavalavar runs in. He's taking a decent chunk of damage here, but Prime Directive from Mikshi actually puts him onto the back line. The gauntlet comes across. This could be bad news for Team Secret. They need need to be careful. But Majestic is so tanky on the front line. Mixi trying to do something equivalent, getting onto Redemption, but he's not there yet. That's going to be the suicide. He picks up the kill with the self-destruct. He's likely going to go down, but even still, a very solid trade coming out of TSM with the gold mine picked up too.
Yeah, so gold mine, they get themselves that kill on the board. They do trade it out, but I mean, hey, a kill is a kill. The big target for against Team Secret is going to be Redemption. That Vox has to go down. With this dive comp, it's up to TSM to make it happen.
I've got to agree with you. I mean, Redemption is the biggest damage source on the side of Team Secret, but look at this, Cole the Meek going in.
Majestic.
He actually picks up the kill.
Too far.
Majestic, way too far up the lane.
Cavalifar
could fall as well. Cole the Meek making it happen with the weapon power.
Got
Already
him.
goes down
Got
for
him.
the trade, but even still, a 1 versus 2. Maybe if Redemption hadn't showed up just in the nick of time, it would have been a straight up 2 versus 1.
Well, but still, I mean, the kills are the kills. That is the power of Weapon Arden. That is why, you know, Team Secret, they tried this out in the Europe. Now, we didn't see it here on the NA side of the qualifiers, but I could say, you know, my buddy Tasty Bacon, he showed this to me back at London, and he's like, this is totally going to be a thing. And now here we are with 2 Weapon Ardens, both of them picking up sword blades about the same time on top of it. We're going to see more and more aggression from these guys.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. I think this is something that maybe has been a bit of a sleeper pick leading up until this point, but the teams have kind of inadvertently exposed its strength here at the show match. Now FlashX, he's way out of position, deep in enemy territory. They're trying to donate that kill over to Redemption, get him snowballing as quick as possible. He is going to find the kill, so no afterburn coming out of Flash to save his life there. TSM, they've got 4 kills to the 6 of Team Secret, but they are in fact leading in gold by about 1,000.
Yep, so it's not a game about kills. It's definitely going to be a game about what kind of pressures we can generate. Mixi in that lane is absolutely not going to be a factor, especially with all 3 of Team Secret right there. So you can see Cole the Mate coming to reinforce from that jungle. But if we get a force to card, oh man, Mixi's going in.
Yeah, that's very deep though. He doesn't realize all 3 members are there. The gauntlet coming across, keeping him in the fight. Cole the Meek also taken very low here. Is he going to be able to find the return?
Oh!
Picks it up. Very nice kill coming across from Cole, given the situation, but still, again, this is an uneven trade between the teams. Now Flash trying to come in here. He doesn't have a lot of damage right now, though, so Redemption, he's going to be okay. Lots of aggression so early on in this game.
It's actually rather impressive that Cole the Meek actually did get the kill on Majestic, so it wasn't the worst case scenario from Team Solo Mid. But yeah, that kind of lull in pressure where they didn't have their glaive turned into a great advantage there for Team Secret, and they did capitalize, and the Force Record just was absolutely wonderful right there. Now, going forward, if we can reset here from TSM, they got those double sword blades ready. We have the Warhorn here as well. The dive comp is ready to go. What they want to try to combo is Cole the Meek with that gauntlet into Mixi's Prime Directive into his Explode, and then Flash, you know, just trying to get somebody stunned out, preferably Redemption. You set that up, that stun train on top of Redemption with the suicide, that could actually be the winning combination.
It absolutely could, but look at this. Team Secret catching out the rotate back to the lane from TSM. Gonna buy a little bit of space, maybe to pressure the turret, but they don't want to chance their luck. Just backing away for the time being. Interesting that Cavalifar, and we haven't highlighted this explicitly yet, is playing Roam right now for the side of Team Secret.
His Finn is phenomenal.
He is very good, but historically Cavalifar is someone we know as the CS god, the guy who farms a ton, manages to get a lot of items early. Hang on a second though, TSM, they're gonna catch the rotate back as Team Secret trying to defend the turret. They're not going to be able to. Majestic very low here as well.
Good
That's
stun.
the afterburn. Flash X hunting him down. Forced Accord not doing too much here. It actually brings them into Redemption. And TSM find 2 quick kills. They're going for more. This could be bad for Cavalifar. He goes down. It's going to be the ace picked up for TSM off the back of the turret. They've just suddenly full-on committed to going for these early game fights.
Now you'll see that TSM, they started that off with 2 on turret, 1 in the brush, and that was Flash, and he was the scout. He's the one that had that vision, you know, because he does not buy scout traps, but he was in that bush. He made that vision happen, and then when we came into that, it was, you know, it was him that kind of made that happen.
Yeah, so right now, TSM, they're in a pretty good spot. They steal away one of those camps. They're going for the gold mine yet again. Majestic starting to make his way in here. Does go for the gauntlet, but Cole the Meek is doing way more damage.
Wow,
he
Cole.
just turns around, finds the kill. He needs to get out of here. There's the gauntlet back. He gets the distance. The wait for it doesn't land. It's going to be Cole the Meek getting away, and now Redemption is in a lot of pressure. He falls. TSM are really turning up the heat, and Cavalifar, he wanted to help, but it was way too little, way too late. He might even go down here as well. It could be back-to-back aces. He lives just long enough for the respawn coming through. But man, what happened? TSM, they just went from 0 to 60.
In 3.2 minutes.
Yep.
Yep. That's what you do. You ramp it up. This is what we were talking about earlier. Mixi is all of a sudden going to become this stronger character. He's not going to be Glass. Cole the Meek has been showing us again the power of this weapon Ardent. With that Sword Blade, now into that Bone Saw, he's also had the boots. And take those passives into consideration there as well. Every time you hit him, he regenerates a little bit. So if he can start tanking up, he has that reflex now ready to go. It's going to be rather hard to take him down.
Oh, I've got to agree with you, and this is why I personally think that this weapon Ardent is actually so good. But we have got another bit of a fight kicking off here.
Majestic,
TSM easily able to pick up Majestic. They want some more. It feels like Team Secret can't do
Mixi.
anything right now. Waiting for it, does get the silence down, but it's nowhere near enough. Kvalifar, the last man standing, he's very tanky. Cole is getting hit by the turret and goes down, but Prime Directive locks up the rest of the kills. It's another ace, the second of the game for TSM, and they just show no signs of stopping.
Cole knew he was tanking, but he sacrificed himself for that 3-1. Now it's 13.5 minutes in. We are going to be looking at an endgame situation for that TSM special. I mean, there's no 4 turrets here, but get that 4th member on your team, and TSM has a record of actually taking the games right then and there.
Oh, this is something they are so well known for. In Team Secret, they've got to be aware of this. They need to keep their eyes peeled for every time that TSM makes their way as we approach that 15-minute mark to the Kraken pit. But we do have some items now completed for Redemption. You've got to remember that Team Secret, they're from Europe. They are the guys who know late game like no one else. And Vox, around 15 minutes, that's when he really hits his spike. This is by no means over.
Well, okay, you say that, but 14 minutes in, and TSM right now, a kill a minute and up 6,000 gold. They might be gods of late game, but when they're 6,000 behind, this is where they're
You don't watch EU much, do you?
I have faith in my boys here from NA. You get a lead, they do not give it up.
All right, well, we'll have to see which one of us is going to be right. Hashtag Forecourt Jester is wrong.
Let's never do
but
that.
But in any case, decent payout collected for TSM. They must be feeling pretty good with themselves right now, looking to keep this heat going. Team Secret, they just need to try and stay in this for a little bit longer to really get Redemption going, like I was just mentioning. TSM, they're actually stealing away the minion mine as well, so they've got a lot more map pressure as a result. With the stronger minions pushing down the lane, it could be hard for Team Secret to stop the Kraken.
That little bit of cash there for Cole makes lets him get those double infusions. We actually have it ready to go on Mixi as well.
He's going for that Prime Directive, jumping onto the back line. That's going to be the core overload as well. But look at this. They're actually trapped inside of this gauntlet. Can't get onto Redemption. Redemption Sonic zooms into the gauntlet, though. That was a very audacious move. He falls for his aggression, and TSM pick up another ace.
I told you, you get that gauntlet down, you have nowhere to go. That's another stun from Flash, and that's Mixi in there as well. You just have no answer. We have no Crucible. We got only that Fountain, and now TSM, they're going for the win.
They're going straight for this, and I think they have time to pick it up. They're not even dividing attention amongst the turrets to
7
stop
seconds
those
till someone's even up.
respawn deductions. TSM, they're going to be picking up the win in the show match. That's got to feel great as you head into this best of 7 to determine the champion of champions.
All right, so yeah, that was not part of this best of 7, but the show match, the community, I gotta say, Weapon Ardents, did the community know the power of that hero as he comes into this one? Did they know that it was going to be played out so well here? Because I gotta say, NA did it very well, and I don't know how this got here.
Well, you know what? Mine might be a little bit more simplistic than yours, but I'm sticking to my guns. I feel like with all that artwork, that fancy stuff, you're just kind of